what do you see about the desire to work, willingness to work? And we talked in the very, very beginning before we hit record, this perception that maybe the younger generation doesn't want to work or something like that.
I think that perception exists for every generation, right? Every generation thinks the kids after them are entitled and don't want to work. Right? I think
back in my day.
I think that's universal, first and foremost. I think the expression like kids today don't want to work is an indictment that employers aren't doing their part. So I'm at schools almost every day of the week. I assure you kids want to work. They might not know how. They might not know you exist, but they want the opportunities. They want money. They want to be able to support their lifestyle. They want the experience more than they want to be in school.
Okay.
The problem is, I tell employers, is they either don't know or they don't care.
Yep.
They don't know you exist, which means you are doing a problem with your employer brand and marketing yourself and getting out in front of them.
Yep.
Or they don't care that you exist, which means what you're offering to them or the language you're speaking to them in or how you're meeting them or how you've designed your culture or work environment or your job is something that they're not interested in.
Okay.
Both of those are employer issues, right? And I think most employers are stuck in the way that I post a job, I get 1,000 applicants, and I hire the best one and we move forward.
Yep.
We're past that.
Okay.
There are more jobs available than there are people, right? And the post and pray method no longer is effective, right? And so what you have to do is you have to treat recruitment like a sales profession. And I always tell, business owners, right? If your top salesperson put a sign out in front that said now selling and put your product online, is that salesperson doing their job? And it's universally no, of course not. Recruiting is the same way. Yep. If I put a sign out in front that says now hiring and I put my product, which is my job, on Indeed or LinkedIn or wherever job board, of choice, right? Am I doing my job as a recruiter? No, I'm not. I'm just hoping the right person walks in my door. Right? In reality, it's a sales position. You need to be proactive. You need to be going to career fairs. You need to be creating relationships with career services at colleges or high schools. You need to be doing classroom presentations. You need to be networking, right? All the same things that you would do to develop a sale are the exact same things you need to do when cultivating a talent pool.
Okay.
Right? And so it's not that kids don't want to work. It's that they either don't know that you exist or they don't care. And so first and foremost, look internally, right? Is what I'm offering realistic with what kids want today, right? Are you providing them, you look at Gen Z and Gen Alpha, which is, current generation entering work, college students all the way through high school, right? They are motivated more by money and by learning experiences than anything else.
Okay.
Right. And you kind of look at all right, what it motivates each generation, and everyone I'm a millennial. Everyone kind of, craps on millennials, right? Because we cared about the work-life balance and we cared about the intrinsic value of our work, right? And we tend to be defined by major life events. So millennials, by and large, are defined by the advent of technology and 9/11.
Okay.
And so our impacts are based around that instant gratification of the internet and life is short, right? And which is why you see millennials care about, the cultural impact of the work you're doing and the volunteer opportunities and spending time with my family and why I jump jobs to find those things. You look at Gen Z and they tend to be, the big cultural shift was the advent of social media and the 2008 financial collapse, right? They saw their parents lose homes, lose jobs, right? Have to move.
Close as we got to Great Depression.
Yes.
Since the Great Depression.
So they will not job hop.
Yep.
They will look for more stability than millennials did.
Okay.
Gen Alpha, right? Same thing, right? They're motivated by, right? Am I constantly learning? Am I constantly getting information? Am I constantly getting new opportunities?
Okay.
Right. And so if you can provide the next generation with growth opportunities, and that doesn't mean promotions. That means, am I learning more things? Am I getting more responsibilities? Am I getting unique opportunities?
Okay.
If they see that, if they see their worth being met in terms of compensation, and what they view compensation is a little different too, right? Millennials cared a lot less about health insurance and 401ks than this current generation does. They care about all of that. They care about, right, am I able to support the lifestyle I want financially? And is there some stability in that? And am I learning and growing? Now, they will still job hop, but it's only if those needs aren't being met.
Okay.
So if you can pay them a fair wage and you can give them responsibility and you can give them opportunities, they'll stay. And we'll see students turn down more money for better growth opportunities.
Okay.
But so that's the internal look first, right? That's the I don't care part of the don't know or don't care. So once you've fixed that, then if it needs fixing, then you have to go out and get out in front of them, right? And you need to meet them where they are, right? Are you going and just setting up a booth at a career fair, sitting behind it at a chair, handing out a flyer, or are you out in front? Do you have a video playing? Do you have virtual reality giving them a tour of your facility? Like, are you meeting them how they want to be met, right? And the tools that they use, are you, putting TikTok videos out of your work, right? Or going on podcasts, right? Are you doing those types of things, how they consume information and getting in front of them that way?
Okay.
And so, short answer, kids today do want to work. They just either don't know or don't care that you exist.
Okay.
And you as an employer have to solve those problems internally before you can start connecting with that next generation.
They grew up in a dynamic world. They've gone through a lot, especially the really young ones right now. I mean, as a world, we've gone through some pretty crazy experiences with COVID and everything. Technology boom, and now AI. And I think of myself, like I said, I'm 54 years old. If you took me as 54, then you plot me down in my hometown of Manistee in high school, as if I was 17 years old. With what I know now, what an unbelievable opportunity there is. But if you took me as the 17-year-old that I was back in Manistee at that time, and you plot me in today's world, it's unbelievable what these young people deal with, and the range of what's in front of them and how they manage and deal with that in their daily life, and the risks involved and the opportunities and the responsibilities involved. I would fail miserably. That 17-year-old would not be capable of what these today's 17-year-olds can do.
Absolutely. And the unspoken challenge that employers have is, right, if you're thinking of changing the way that your offer package looks and what the world of work looks like for that next generation, those millennials, those Gen Xers, they're still in your workforce, or they're not gone, right? And so you have to find a way to kind of meet in the middle and make an offer that works for everyone, right? You talk to millennials, my generation stereotypically loves to work from home, right? But you talk to college kids that are about to graduate that had to take an entire year doing classes from home. That's the last thing they want. They know they don't learn well in that environment, and they're motivated by learning. And so they want to be in the office. They want to have mentorship programs. They want to be learning hands-on from someone. Right? But if it's millennials that are in those hiring positions that they personally want to work remote, they have to make themselves uncomfortable to accommodate the next generation coming in. And so I don't know the right answer, the magic bullet to solve the, I mean, and intergenerational workforces will always be a thing, will always be a problem, and I don't have the solution universally for that, but
I don't know. It kind of sounds like the magic bullet is, and this is what I said earlier too. There's more expected of me. This is not a time in life that we get to be lazy.